Hello, Malcolm Cabby here. Let's have a big crack on with you lot. How are you doing? Just look at the league tables, you know, and it's looking more and more likely, isn't it? If it wasn't set in stone already, that Sunderland will be in the playoffs. And there's one thing that's niggling me. It's the fact seeing Coventry City there. Coventry City in the playoff places. I mean, if there's one club, right, you didn't want anywhere near the playoffs, it's Coventry City. Because Sunderland's record against Coventry just stinks, doesn't it? And you can just see us getting landed with Coventry City. But if we did get Coventry City, then surely the law of averages are going to state that we're due to beat them at some point, aren't we? Do you know what I mean? But you can just see it, can't you? Coventry City going up through the playoffs. It's like written in the stars. It's just because it's Coventry City and we just never beat them at all. And of course we've got that rivalry with what happened with Jimmy Hill years ago. Because a lot of people are saying, like, why do you hate Coventry City so much? It's more of a rivalry that's gone back from in the 70s. But do you know, when you look at the playoffs, I mean, even when we've not been in it in the past and you sort of pick your teams and you think, I fancy them, it's like it's written in the stars for Coventry, innit? Frank Lampard, Coventry City. I hope the hell it's not. Of course I hope it's us. Of course I hope it's us. But it's like they've just come from nowhere, haven't they, Coventry? Like they seem to do every season. And they make a massive push. And for some strange reason, it's just a team we never ever do well against. And very rarely you get the third place team getting promoted in the playoffs because of the pressure. There's more pressure on the third place team, especially if they're 20 points ahead of, say, 5th and 6th. And the team that's sort of like just coming up through the ranks and they've just made it the 6th position, there's not as much pressure on there. And it's like they're going to just enjoy the playoffs. And it seems to favour the teams further down in the playoff places. Am I confident Sunderland in the playoffs? I'm going to say yes or no. Yeah, if we get our fully fit squad, right, and we're firing on all cylinders, then I would say I'm confident. But with injuries, and if some players' heads are turned, say the likes of Bellingham, he thinks since he's going to be away by the end of the season, and when you look at some of the awful performances we've had, I'm far from confident, especially if we land Coventry City in between two legs. You know, I just can't see a way past Coventry, just because I'm not used to us doing crap against them. So we've yet to see Jayden Danns, I know that. I know we've yet to see Jayden Danns, but we don't know really anything about him, to be honest with you, if he's going to do any good. Could be an absolute weapon just in time for the playoffs. You know what I mean? Isidore Mienda starts really firing on cylinders, but if we get any injuries to say like Mienda or Isidore, then it's going to be such an uphill task, isn't it? A massive uphill task. But whether we like it or not, it looks like we're going to have to suffer the anxieties of the playoffs. We've been there before. This time's going to be big because it's the championship playoffs and there's a massive amount at stake. I mean, would you say it's easier to take getting knocked out in the second leg than it is failing at the final hurdle at Wembley? It seems to hurt more when it's at Wembley, doesn't it? You know, I still really can't watch the Charlton defeat that were lost on penalties. When Mickey Gray missed a penalty, it still hurts to this day watching that. Because you're so antagonisingly close, aren't you? But for a lot of teams, it's the only way to get out of the Championship, because the top 2 or top 3 are so far ahead of the rest. It's the only chance other teams can get of getting into the Premier League, because, as you say, the playoff itself, there's more pressure on that third place team, and anything can happen. It's a bit like well, it sort of is a cup final, and the points tally gets rubbed off. But I just, every time I see Coventry City there and that in them playoff spots, I cringe. I thought, oh my God, no way, no way. I mean, what do you lot think out there? Are you the same? Are you just thinking like, oh, if we get Coventry, that's us gone? Or do you think if we get a fully fit squad, we can turn anybody out in this playoffs? Well, there we go, and you've heard it from me. I hope Sunderland do it, I really do. But I've just got this little niggling woodpecker in my head saying it's written in the stars for Coventry City. It's Lampard. He's gonna take them up. But let us know what you lot think. We've got enough to get over the line in the playoffs. Do you know what I mean? We need all our players performing. The likes of Job's gone missing these last few games. Has his head been turned? Does he know he's going to be away at the end of the season? He's not that interested, and that's what you don't need in playoffs. But let us know in your comments, and I'll have a good crack on with you. You know, and I'm not saying I'm not getting behind Sunderland. Of course I want Sunderland to win and do the playoffs. Of course I don't want anything more. But it's just that Coventry City. Oh, it's my phone,